ready for phase one?
What's going on, guys? It's Marv and Excessive NPBL Week 4 recap, correct, Marv?
That's right. What's up, guys? How's it going?
Week 4 recap coming at you. Didn't have time to do Week 3, but we're happy to be recording the Week 4 here again for you. You ready to jump into these games, Marv?
Let's do it.
Oh.
Sorry about missing out on week 3, guys, but week 4 was a doozy. Let's go for it here.
Week 4 was exciting indeed. Popping up the games now, Week 4 games. Let's jump right into it. Canton Crooks versus Lincoln Lanterns. 3-0 win for my boy Marv versus Rich. Rich taking another loss this week. Really tough. Feel bad for Rich, but he's gonna turn the season around. I can feel it. He's gonna go on a win streak anytime here soon. But let's hear you talk about your game for a second, Marv. What were your thoughts about this?
Rich is gonna jump on that win streak right now. Start week 5, he's gonna go for it. I know it. Reflecting on the game with Rich, I just want to have a shout out to my boy Seismitoad, the Swift Swimmer. He's the magic man, and he brought the magic. He didn't pick up any kills, but he broke down his team. Would I like to have the fancy stats? Yeah, but he dented that Megalati. I think it did like 70% with a Hydro Pump. I brought the Mystic Water. Should have brought that Life Orb. I'm kind of missing out on some KOs, but awesome. But as a general sense, I think I really wanted to kind of have some funky prep. I didn't want to get in a rhythm like, week 4, max HP, max defense, Seismitoad every week, bulky scissor, I was kind of making Rich kind of think outside the box. I guarantee he didn't prep for Swift Swim Seismitoad. So those are the kind of things that you want to, just bring a little funky stuff every week or so. And, it doesn't have to be completely off the wall, but, maybe a wacky set on a mon or two. And when I say wacky, not like, that's a completely viable set, and it works fairly well in the sense, it put a lot of pressure on him. But yeah, I liked how I performed. It wasn't my cleanest game, but I wanted to bring some fun stuff. So yeah, and Rich played well towards the end. I think there was a roll with my bullet punches on the Hippowdon, depending on his physical bulk. But, I got that 2-hit KO there, and the rest was history. But, yeah, he easily could have. If I miss out on the KO on the Hippowdon, my scissor goes down, I feel like I just lose the game there. So it was very close, much closer than the 3-0 represents there. But, yeah GG to Rich. It was a lot of fun.
For sure. I think a cool thing to highlight between the difference between your game and my game versus Adam, like I think it's good to have out of the box sets, and when they work, you look great. When they don't work, you look silly. But that's okay. Like you have to be comfortable with that. You can't afraid to look silly sometimes. In Mons, if you bring the same type of sets every week, like I feel like sometimes you can be predictable and people can take advantage of that. So I think props to you. I think the Seismitoad set worked very well. I think, showing you can bring an offensive Seismitoad and, maybe showing a little bit different looks every now and then gives the opposing player a lot to prep for. I didn't prep for Swift Seismitoad, and I think I'm pretty good about prepping. So, if that would have came versus me, I have no idea how my team would have handled it. I literally 0% idea. So really good prep by you. You at the end there, you saw that SD. I think that was a Lando big play, was shouting out that SD, and just sealing the deal. I think that's a good, you saw the opportunity to close the game out and you went for it. So yeah, solid game by you. Rich will bounce back. I guess my only feedback for Rich is I think he's made some free exit transactions at this point. I'd like to see him kind of get an identity for his team. And again, I don't remember all of his transactions off the top of my head, but he had the grassy terrain with earthquake spam from Hippowdon and Doug Trio kind of getting weekend, and he's brought defensive Arcanine several times, but defensive Arcanine doesn't like the sand stopping Morning Sun. So like, get some identity. Maybe try. Not, I'm not saying next week, Rich. But look at maybe offensive Arcanine. Maybe not bring Arcanine if you're gonna bring sand. Things along those lines. I just think you're in a funk. You gotta just keep playing, work yourself out of it. Anything else you want to say before you talk us into our next game here?
I think that pretty much covers it. Yeah, we'll go into the next game here. So we got the Detroit Dracos and the Pittsburgh Primarinas, and Adam
Oh,
Pratt played very well.
I just realized looking at this
I'll let you
slide.
talk about it a bit, but
I'm sorry to interrupt you, Marv. Looking at the
yeah,
slide, it says 5-0 for me. That's very very wrong. I got 5-0'd by Pittsburgh. My bad. Are all the other slides right? I think all the
um,
other slides are correct. So that was the only one I messed up on.
yeah.
Sorry guys, but yeah, Adam beat me 5-0. Obviously I did not beat him 5-0. I think I just swapped. I don't know. Anyways, I made that mistake. I'm sorry, Marv. Go ahead.
Hey, that's okay. So yeah, I guess I'll talk about it just a little bit, and then I'll let you kind of share your thoughts on it. But Adam
And
played and
you can
prepped
be
very
honest with me.
well.
I'm not. You don't have to hold back against me, dude. Me and you know each other pretty
Okay.
well. And if I'm gonna talk about, be critical about how you play sometimes and other people's play, you can be critical of how I play. It's not fair for me to sit up here and talk about other people's play and what they could have done better, and then, you know what? Go ahead, say what you need to say. I'm a big boy. I can handle it.
All right, fair enough. I do want to talk about Adam first, though. After watching his Battlelands builder, pretty impressive stuff. I liked the Assault Vest. Great item choice for the Pangoro. Great coverage and great predictions. Going for the gunk shot. Knowing that a Clefable would be a pretty viable switch in at certain points in the battle. So just great stuff. Adam kept around the stuff he needed to. He sacked the Klefki when he needed to. As far as you, I don't know. I think you and I had discussions earlier, and maybe you could have scouted move sets a little bit before switching in the Clef. You know, I don't know. And then the Thunderous set was awesome. Like I loved it, but at the same time, maybe not. Maybe a more cookie cutter, double dance or like nasty plot 3 attacks or something of the sort. But it was cool. Like it was great for wearing down some of his walls, but it just didn't perform as well as it could have for sure. So, and sometimes I get caught up into stuff like that. Like I'll want to bring some certain set and I'll kind of force it into the week just because I want to. And I don't know if that was a little bit of what was going on with you there, but I don't know. There's just some thoughts, but
Yeah, fair enough.
well done to Adam. Well done. And GG to you too. I mean, just Adam, I got to give props to him because he ended a very long win streak. So
Oh yeah, yeah,
Adam,
yeah. Gotcha.
high praise in this week's edition of the Week 4 recap.
Oh, for sure. I know, Adam. I was really hoping to get to half a year without losing the NPBL, but Adam was gonna have none of that. Yeah, I think first thing, props go to Adam. I think Adam outprepped me. Adam outplayed me, and when you lose on both threats, you're gonna lose big like this. I'm lucky I got the 5-0 instead of the 6-0, in my opinion. Um, so again, props to Adam. He played with like a killer instinct that I don't think he always plays with, or maybe sometimes he doesn't play with. Uh, Again, like I like to talk about it. When Adam dictates the tempo of the match, I feel like he's very dangerous. Like, when he's playing his, in my mind and what I prepped for in the Thunderous set, like I think I made some mistakes on my end that kind of encouraged or that had the game play out this way. But like, if the game plays out how I wanted it to, where I was forcing in the Cresselia and the Vaporeon more often, and I think I prepped for like a defensive Shaman. Um, my set would have the Thunderous set would have looked better, but Adam applied a lot of offensive pressure, and my team just couldn't handle it. My team just did not have a very good defensive backbone, and I just kind of wilted and crumbled under the pressure. Going along what you said, I'm fine with the Thunderous set. Like we said, like the Swift Zone Seismitoad and the Thunderous set, unusual sets for sure. Both not orthodox cookie cutter sets. One was effective, one wasn't. You look good or you look smart or you look silly. I look silly this week because I didn't execute very well or Adam out executed me, whatever one you want to say. And I guess like looking back on me, I didn't. My Hydreigon set, I agree with you, was ineffective. So that was kind of my fault. And I think I know how to approach this game again. If I play Adam again in the playoffs, I know how I would approach the game differently for next time. So, but again, I think most of the props go to Adam for this. Adam played better than I did and prepped better than I did. The Lopunny set, I think I just posted the video, so you haven't had a chance to watch the video, but I like freak out and talk and they start like praising Adam about how good that Lop prep was. Like I had it made Ditto. It almost felt like to me that I made a mistake and lost Klefki early, and then I had Ditto, which felt useless versus his team. So it almost felt like 4 versus 6 or 4 versus 5, and I just did not play well enough to come back for that. So props to Adam, dude. I mean, he's played me, he's played you, he's come out 1-1 from that matchup. He's still got to play Lando and Shaman, but I don't know, man. It's looking
Adam might.
looking
Adam
dangerous, looking dangerous, dude. But yeah, we don't need to go like between Adam's prep video and play, my prep video and my play video. You can get a pretty good feel for that.
Yeah.
And again, I props to Adam. He played much better than I did. Moving on.
Moving on. Let's go.
Chadots and Leafeons, Eisenide forfeit again. 3-0 for Ivan. I was hyped to see Adam because I see Ivan play because according to Shaman, Ivan's prep this week was going to be crazy. So hopefully it can be used in some other way. Gothberg Murkrows versus Wisconsin Wishcats. Shy Crow getting the big 5-0 win versus Mikey. Big props to Shy Crow's defensive core this week. We saw a very good defensive core from him. Mike had nothing for that Togekiss, and even Meltake played a good role. Felt like Shy Crow was in control of this game the entire time. That Mike had almost nothing for Togekiss, and it just kind of, you could tell by, like, I think the majority of the kills were Togekiss. The majority of the turn was Togekiss sitting in front of it. So it was a brutal. It's a hard game to watch from just like a. It wasn't entertaining. It was nothing against Mike, but Shy Crow dominated this match. So what do you think about that?
Yeah, I think you pretty much hit it spot on. Mike, I don't think his game plan was executed as good as he wanted it to be. Just wasn't ready for that Togekiss. Props to Shy Crow. Bringing Lando T for the first time, bringing in turn 1, clicking Rock Slide, getting a kill, doing Lando T things. Psycho, come on, man. Keep bringing it. Good things are going to happen. You win 5-0. That's all I got to say about that.
For people who don't know, isn't Lando T like 2-0? Is it 2-0 or 3-0 in championship games? It's 1-2. The team that's had
2-0.
The team that's had 2 seasons in a row, the team that has had Lando T on its roster has won the championship. So
season 2 and season 3 respectively. Yeah. But I don't really have anything else to say about the match. The defensive core, Lando T, bang. I will say, I guess both these teams were 1-2 coming into the match, so it was a really big deal. Shy Crow getting to that 2-2 mark and getting a +5 addition to his differential. So
for sure.
Big win for Shy Crow for sure. Mikey looking to bounce back next week.
I mean, honestly, with how some of the schedule is looking next week, getting a win now for Shy Crow, if Shy Crow starts pulling off some wins here in a row, Lincoln Lanterns have a loss. Detroit Dracos have a loss. One of the 2 undefeated teams will have a loss next week. So, like, if you can string off some wins here, Lincoln loses another game, Detroit loses another game, and like then you're right back in the top. You're in a top. You're in the middle of the playoff race, even though you had a pretty rough start. So yeah, keep grinding, Shy Crow. As for Mikey, don't get discouraged. I know
it's
the season.
Still early.
Yeah, I know that the season hasn't gone perfectly for you. It's looking pretty rough. Keep working, keep practicing, keep prepping. Try different sets, try different strategies. Just don't bring those same sets every week just because your season's not going great. Like, try some different stuff. Work on you learn more from losses than you do wins, in my opinion. I learned more by getting bodied by Adam than I would ever have learned from beating Adam. Like winning reinforces like you can't realize what mistakes you made. So even though you lost, there's stuff to be learned from that. You ready to talk about read into the Sky Shamans and Wraith Rabambe's game?
Yeah, let's do it. You know, actually, do you want to talk about it? Because honestly don't remember too much about this game.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and start us off here. We'll start off with Shaman. Shaman mentioned, I believe, in his power rankings, he felt like he didn't have his best prep or best play, but he still got the W, dude. And I feel like if you're gonna, if you want to talk about making a deep playoff run or a match in the playoffs, like even when you don't prep the best or your play's not at its best and you still get a W, you have to be able to do that. So I think that's a really positive sign. Even when you weren't 100%, on your A game, you still found a way to win. So that means the way you're building and the way you're game planning, there's all the work you're putting in, you're getting that positive success back. You're getting positive things are happening because you're working hard, and even if you're not playing your best, your good habits that you've built with prep and play are getting you those W's, which is always really really good to see. As for the game itself, really tight game actually. I think out of all the games this week, my favorite game, I guess maybe these last two games my favorite games, but like there was doubles from both players. People held stuff to sack off. Gumi kept priority around to keep the game interesting. Um, again, a few different things go different for Gumi, and I think Gumi could win this game too. Maybe, different move not Conqueror, excuse
I
me,
was just gonna say the girder.
girder. Different move on that girder, different item on that girder. You walk away with a W here. So yeah, really close game. I'm props to Shaman for pulling off that W. I know Gumi's in a slump, dude. He's been saying in chat he just feels out of it. He can't find a W. You just gotta keep grinding, man. Keep playing games. Eventually, you'll get back into your groove. Feel free to reach out to anyone in this league if you want help prepping or playing, looking over stuff. Like me and Marv are always happy to help as long as you're not playing one of the two of us. Um,
Yeah, hit me up, Gumi.
yeah,
For sure.
keep working, dude. TP versus Massachusetts Metapods. TP versus Lando and the Seattle Seadras. Go ahead and talk about this game, Marv.
Well, I just want to say the stat line was a lot closer than I thought it'd be. Props to TP. Man, he was so close to winning this. I really loved how TP kind of just didn't really care about Lando, like sitting there with him on and you turn in. He just like, I'm here with my Darmanitan and I'm gonna click Flare Blitz and I'm gonna knock your stuff out. Um, just he really took it to him. He was applying offensive pressure. You play too passive, too defensive, and then Lando just makes an aggressive, setup, and he just takes one turn and he can just body you. So I think TP did well and not letting the game get out of hand, not giving Lando really an inch, and so they kind of went back and forth with a really close 1-0 victory to Lando.
Yeah.
It was an exciting game to watch. So props to both players.
Any sets or any particular turns you want to highlight for TP Orlando?
Um, yeah,
I mean, you don't have to
I
remember the
mean,
exact turn, but like maybe what was
sure.
going on.
I guess I didn't understand, and I'm sure there's a perfectly plausible explanation, but there was a Z poison jab or something of the sort on Alolan Persian, or does it get gunk shot? I don't even know.
I can't remember. It might be gunk shot off the top of my head, but yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, that was kind of cool to see. That was kind of heat, but
Yeah, I think it was four like a nine tails set, but TP just like I will agree with that. TP just randomly pulled the trigger on it, which is kind of weird. Instead of like parting shotting out or something along those lines, he just like.
And then it wasn't even on like a max speed, like a non-invested bulk Manaphy. It was like max HP, max defense Manaphy.
I mean,
So
yeah. Again, like you don't know. I mean, he doesn't know that
yeah,
at that point.
there's no way to know that.
Yeah.
But I was just salt in the wound.
Yeah.
With that
Yeah.
team,
Exactly. But yeah, I apply with you. I think if you're gonna, and I'm being again, I feel more comfortable being a little bit more critical of Lando. And again, he won, so it's not that critical. If you're gonna, if you're going to beat Lando, you have to apply some sort of offensive pressure because you're not going to be able to wall the tail goal core. It's just not doable. It's not doable. Like you can have melodic and all kinds of silly stuff, but you're not going to be able to wall that stuff. So you have to have some sort of game plan going into how you're going to deal with it. Whatever that is for each week is going to vary based on your roster. But I feel like Lando's defensive core is not the best, and he knows this. Lando knows this, and it's not like I'm letting some cat out of the bag here for how to beat Lando. But TP, like you said, applied offensive pressure. Attacked him with hazards, forced Lando to switch around, and it made this game very close. And who knows with like again, I have no idea what Lando's sets were, but with like maybe a water shuriken on that Greninja,
Yeah.
maybe TP wins this game. And again, I maybe not. I don't know the items. I don't know the sets, but it would have made things interesting. So it was a good game. I was really excited to see TP. This is what I'm talking about, dude. Like TP's with the full meme team, U-turn team. He should have beat Mikey last week, and he almost beat Seattle this week. So yeah. You ready to move on to power rankings?
Let's go for it.
All right. And
All
here's
right.
the week 4 power rankings. Marv, go ahead.
So here we go. I'll just kind of jump into the top four here. Shaman and I both having the Siegers on top. Mad respect for the Tail Glow core and undefeated record. So there we go. And then Shaman putting Adam up at number 2. Given a lot of props for beating you last week. So maybe a little bit of that kind of what have you done for me lately kind of thing, and also Shaman not wanting to put himself at second. I identify with that. But I put Shaman at second. Another undefeated team, just solid prep every single week, and as you said, when you're not playing your best, but you still find a way to win, that's the mark of a true champion, and that's what
100%.
Shaman is.
100% agree.
So and at 3, props to Adam. What have you done for me lately? You've beaten excessive, so 3 spot you go. And then I got you at 4th. You just, you're a good player, so that's where you're at. He put me above you. Tomato. At 6, we both got Shy Crow. That was a big win for him. 7th, Ivan. I agree with that. I really wanted to see Ivan and Eisenide. Unfortunately, some IRL issues with Eisenide. Get better, bud. And then now I'm just looking at this for the first time with Shaman's rankings.
Yeah, sorry. So you didn't get to read them over.
Yeah, busy day at work, guys. It's crazy. But yeah, TP at 8. I don't know if I agree with that. Just the general. He's had a couple close games this past week or two, but I don't know. I don't know if I'd go that high, but he did play extremely well for Lando, against Lando, so I can recognize that with Shaman. But I'm going with Mikey. I'm going with my boy Rich at 9. I still believe. Then Gumi, he went up a little bit in the rankings too. There, I thought he played really well this week. Just maybe it just seems like he's a move different on this mon and an item different on this mon away from getting a big win, upsetting one of the top coaches, And then, I got Eisenide, 2 forfeits in a row.
Yeah.
You got to be in the bottom spot. You got to play.
Never want to see that. Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah,
then, maybe I'm being a little harsh on TP at the 11th spot, but, show me a win, man. Win next week. You'll rise. I know it. But that's really all I got for the power rankings. I think I feel pretty solid about it. And yeah, looking to see how far Ivan can rise up here. Shout outs to Ivan and Team Rapid Spin. Pretty impressed.
Is TP winless?
TP he won. I think he won a game. And so maybe I should put.
No. I just couldn't remember.
I think his win was like a 1-0 win, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So it was really close differential. I was impressed with Lumi keeping it close with a 2-0 with Shaman.
For sure.
I don't know. TP lost 1-0 against Lando, so I don't know. Prove me wrong.
Gumi's had a relatively tough schedule. Did he play Lando or no?
I think he did.
So he's played Lando and Shaman. already, and so he's been a relatively tough schedule. Yeah, I agree with
So
with
Smoke and
most of.
Water's ahead for him. So I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah, I agree with most part. I think Shaman. I think Shaman. The two undefeated teams should be 1-2 in my opinion. I get the win over Detroit should put Pittsburgh up there for sure, but both of you are undefeated. Everyone else kind of looks like not mediocre, but like I beat Marv, Marv beat Adam, Adam beat me. So it's kind of I think there's a clear 1-2 in the Seattle and the Shamans. I think 3 through 5 is some combination of Detroit, Lincoln, and Pittsburgh. Um, but then when you get into that 5 through 8 area, you guys kind of have, I think everything's slotted pretty appropriately. Unfortunately, it seems to be that the league's tearing out like it usually does, where there's good competition. The top teams are the top teams. Really want to see Shikro here challenge and kind of push us a little bit harder. Make sure to check out Shaman's PR rankings at the doc. He does a lot of thought into them, put some thought into it. I'll just highlight some of the interesting stuff. He mentioned that Adams' win was put him at number 2 because it was a big win over me and a dominant win, and then he's going off kind of differential for ranking out. You have a better differential than me at this point because I just got smacked by, and pretty much all your games have been big wins or your one loss you kept close compared to me. So yeah, it was a pretty good, pretty hard week to rank that. Like 3 through 6ish, 3 through 5 spot was pretty interesting for sure. You ready to move on to game of the week?
Yeah, take us into the game of the week, excessive.
Game of the week. I don't think this needs an introduction. You got 4-0 Seattle, 4-0 Shamans. The Sky Shamans coming in. You got Lando versus Shaman. It's gonna be hype, man. This game's two big time coaches, two big time records, two really competitive teams in terms of their compositions. It's gonna be really interesting to see how these guys attack each other. Um, I kind of have to talk about both players have reached out to me for prepping, so I want to make sure that we're split evenly. Um, Keys to the game for me again when both players are so talented, it's hard for me to be like this is the key for this player to win the game. Both these guys are just as good as I am, so it's hard for me to be like this is the key. So really light stuff I thought of. I feel like Lando sometimes under preps, and not that he under preps, but sometimes Lando, admittedly, just kind of preps, takes 10 minutes for his preps, shows up and wins his games because he's such a good player. Lando's the best natural player. His play style being very momentum focused, kind of he can make up sometimes lackadaisical prep, or maybe not lackadaisical is the best word, but not optimized prep. Um, and I think this week, if Lando just shows up and just preps for 10 minutes and tries to beat Shaman, I think he's going to struggle to beat this Shaman Skies team. I feel like Lando's going to have to put in a little bit of time this week, find some time to prep. Take a little bit of time to make sure his sets are effective and what he thinks Shaman's going to bring. Because Shaman's one of the best, if not the best, prepper in the league. Shaman's gonna have a game plan on how he wants to attack you. So if you just kind of run out your cookie cutter team versus Shaman, I think you're gonna get bulldozed. But Lando's an amazing player, and when he preps well, is probably one of the best players, if not the best in the league. Shaman, he's kind of mentioned this before in chat or maybe to me and you, like big game nerves. He wants to win that big game. Wants to really take on that big competition. Shaman's made a name for himself beating up the little kids of the NPBL and beating up the lower tier teams. And then when it comes to beating the you know the Marvs, the Excessives, the Adams, you know the Landos of the world, his record's not great versus them. I think he has a below 500 record. So put up or shut up. Um, Shaman, it's time to kind of you have a great team. You're prepping well. I think you're in a good zone. If you lose this game, it's not the end of the world, but just don't let nerves get to you. Just play your game. Just let everything think your moves out. Kind of envision the end game and how it's going to be played out. Don't do gut reactions if things start to go bad because it's Lando. Not everything's going to go the way you want it to go, and I think you have a good shot to win this game. I don't know who I'm picking. I'm gonna let you. Who are you picking in this game if you had to pick right now?
All right, we get a sneak peek into Marv's bold
Well,
predictions for week 5. I'm taking Shaman. His prep, his class is top notch, and he's going to prove it. He's going to go 5-0 and be atop alone in the NPBL standings. The Sky Shamans coming at you with a nice 3-0 victory next week.
I think
Book it.
I tend to agree with you, man. I'm not gonna say a score, but I think I'm favoring Shaman early on this week. Um, But yeah, it's a tough. It's
It's
like
gonna be a good one.
it's gonna be this is gonna be hopefully a classic. This has all the makings for a classic. Um,
It's gonna go in NPBL lore
hopefully, if we can only
in
hope.
the archives.
All right, you ready for Marv's playoff picture?
Let's go for it.
All right, Marv's playoff picture, no graphics.
All right. Yep. As tradition, no graphics for the layoff picture. We've got the Seattle Seadras, Sky Shamans, Pittsburgh Primarinas, Detroit Dracos, Lincoln Lanterns, and the Chicago Chadots are going to
Oh,
be in the playoffs.
oh,
Ivan, I recognize. Let's go.
oh man, I like it. I like it. I think that's spicy. I don't know, man. My schedule's gonna get tougher and tougher from here on out. I could see myself getting 2, 3 more losses this season.
You're too good of a battler, though, man. You're
Let's
going
hope
to make
so.
it.
Let's hope so. But yeah, I think I agree with that. I like the Ivan pick. Ivan's the new hotness in the NPPL. I feel like he's memeing and dreaming at the same time.
Everybody's talking about it.
Everyone, I've
It's the
heard
talk of the town.
at the water cooler today, yesterday at work, everyone was talking about it in Chicago chat at hype. All right, you ready for the by far the most popular part of the recap is Marv Reacts. We got some spicy ones. You ready for this?
I'm ready. You know it.
Okay. So how well do you know NPBL lore, NPBL history? How well do you think you know it?
I know it pretty darn well.
You
So
have been here
here we
since the
go.
beginning. This is a very tough question, so I don't expect you to get every single one right. So if you get 2 out of these 3 right, I'm gonna say it's correct. This is a shaman question, okay?
Okay.
This is a pretty tough one. All right. Name the post-draft Shaman power rankings of all 3 MPBL season champs. And to remind you, in case you forgot, you were the season 1, Lando was season 2, and I was season 3. What were our post-draft rankings for each of these teams? So after the draft done, what was everyone ranked? So go ahead. I'll give you more than 10 seconds. We're not going to take 2 minutes on this, but this is tough. So if you can get 2 out of the 3 or remotely close to 2 out of the 3, I will accept this.
Oh boy.
This is a tough one.
If I recall, in season 1,
Season 1, okay.
I was 10th, and then
That's so close. If off the top of my head, that's very close. It might be 10th, but that's very, very close.
season 2 with Lando, he was 4th.
Okay. And what's your guess
And
for mine?
You were 2nd.
Ooh, I think off the top of my head, because I think you're like off on all of these, but you mixed them up in your head. You were ranked 9th, Lando was ranked 7th, and I was ranked 4th. So you switched the Lando and excessive one around. But yeah, tough question for sure. Very, very tough question.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
All right, I like
that one. Very tough question. His question, he gave me a lot of data, and I kind of tried to simplify it to something that was manageable. So yeah. So Shaman Power Rankings. He's yet to actually pick a number 1 in the post-draft rankings, but he got close with the Lando one, so I'll accept that one. All right, next question. Marv, would you consider yourself in the world of Pokemon a speed freak?
Absolutely.
All right,
no
Marv.
speed. I'm gonna toss that mon out. Get
Name
it out of here.
2 of the 3 fastest Pokemon in the game. Any Pokemon in the game, the entire dex, all 700 plus Pokemon we have. 2 of the 3 fastest Pokemon. You love speed, man. I don't think you've ever drafted any of these 3 for the
Out of all of the decks,
the entire dex. I literally clicked on the Pokedex, clicked on speed, and saw who was the fastest. No ability. I'm just talking about base stats in case that's not base
Deoxys speed.
That's one of them.
Ninjask.
That's 2. Can you get all 3?
And then Megazam.
Close. You're very close. Deoxys speed, Ninjask, Pheromosa, and then you have a plethora of 150s, including Megazam.
Okay.
Pheromosa at 151 is faster. That's why I made the breakpoint 2 of the 3, because there's a whole bunch of 150s. You remember Ninjask? Deoxys speed, I didn't know it was the fastest mon in the game. I've never actually played Ubers, so I don't know.
Super fast.
Obviously, it's 180. Fastest Pokemon in the game.
For a reason.
There you go. Marv is a speed freak. He got 2 out of the 3 right. Well, Marv, that's gonna be it for our recap. Anything you want to say before you do the outro?
I just want to give shout outs to all the coaches for all their hard work in the league and doing well. It's been fun so far. Looking forward to a nice week 5. Um, yep. So remember, Team Stealth Rocks is here, and we're ready to rock 'em and sock 'em.
All right, guys, we're gonna be signing off here. It's Marv. Excessive. It's the best move in the game.